started. Thank you for joining us today on this rainy Sunday here in Kentucky. So wherever you're coming from, thank you.
I feel you.
Here. Yes. So welcome to Sanctuary. If you haven't joined us before, welcome. This is our Sunday service. We have every Sunday, and it is our 6-month, I guess you'd call that an anniversary, maybe not the technical term, but we've been doing our Sunday services for 6 months now, which feels like a huge accomplishment, and it's really great to see our community growing every week. So thank you for being a part of that. If you're new here today, just a little rundown on how our Sunday services work. It's about 30 minutes of readings. We read from the Tao Te Ching and a rotating book, which we're currently on, The Game of Life and How to Play It. So we read different books as time goes on, always reading from the Tao Te Ching, as that is our primary text at Sanctuary. We also have some journaling time. So if you'd like to participate in the journaling, grab a journal now, and also find a comfortable place, as comfortable as you can get today. We'll have a meditation, and we will read from a poem, the Litany of Gratitude, as well. So get comfortable. Please mute your mics if you're not already muted to help cut back on feedback. And okay.
Oh, Alex.
Yes. Alex today will be leading our discussion on Zoom. We will break away here at the Sanctuary Lake House to do our in-person integration, as everyone had a full dose day yesterday here. So we're gonna keep that intimate here between us. But Alex will be leading the Zoom discussion today. So that will come after service and go until about noon. So with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and start our service, passing on to Athena.
Good morning. So again, welcome and thank you for joining our Sanctuary community and celebration this morning. As we begin our statement of faith, we recognize that this statement does not exhaust the full extent of our faith. We believe that sacred mushrooms are the primary source of personal and divine revelation. We seek counsel from the mushroom to find direction and inspiration in our faith practice, and we believe that all individuals who seek true revelation from divinity can do so. So if you'd like to find that comfortable seat, we will begin with a 5-minute meditation, really just grounding ourselves in the space, bringing ourselves, thanking ourselves for coming today, taking a deep breath, exhaling. If you'd like to join me in a nice big inhale, exhale. Go into our first reading with the help of Lynn.
The Game of Life, Chapter 3. A person knowing the power of the word becomes very careful of their conversation. One has only to watch the reaction of their words to know that they do not return void. Through the spoken word, we are continually making laws for ourselves. I knew a man who said, "I always miss a car. It invariably pulls out just as I arrive." His daughter said, "I always catch a car. It's sure to come just as I get there." This occurred for years. Each had made a separate law for themselves, one of failure, one of success. This is the psychology of superstitions. The horseshoe or rabbit's foot contains no power, but the spoken word and belief that it will bring good luck creates expectancy in the subconscious mind and attracts a lucky situation. I find, however, this will not work when one has not advanced spiritually and knows a higher law. One cannot turn back and must put away graven images. For example, 2 men in my class had great success in business for several months. When suddenly everything went to smash, we tried to analyze the situation, and I found instead of making their affirmations and looking to God for success and prosperity, they had each bought a lucky monkey. I said, "Oh, I see you have been trusting in the lucky monkeys instead of God. Put away the lucky monkeys and call on the law of forgiveness, for man has the power to forgive or neutralize his mistakes." They decided to throw the lucky monkeys down a coal hole, and all went well again. This does not mean, however, that one should throw away every lucky ornament or horseshoe about the house, but we must recognize that the power behind it is the one and only power, God, and that the object simply gives one a feeling of expectancy. I know in my own case, it took a long while to get out of a belief that a certain thing brought disappointment. If the thing happened, disappointment invariably followed. I found the only way I could make a change in the subconscious was by asserting, there are not 2 powers, there is only one power, God. Therefore, there are not disappointments, and this thing means a happy surprise. I noticed a change at once, and happy surprises commenced coming my way. I have a friend who said nothing could induce her to walk under a ladder. I said, "If you are afraid, you are giving in to a belief in 2 powers, good and evil, instead of one. As God is absolute, there can be no opposing power, unless man makes the false of evil for himself. To show you believe in only one power, and that there is no power or reality in evil, walk under the next ladder you see." Soon after, she went to her bank. She wished to open her box in the safe deposit vault, and there stood a ladder on her pathway. It was impossible to reach the box without passing under the ladder. She quailed with fear and turned back. She could not face the lion on her pathway. However, when she reached the street, my words rang in her ears, and she decided to return and walk under it. It was a big moment in her life. Her ladders had held her in bondage for years. She retraced her steps to the vault, and the ladder was no longer there. This so often happens. One is willing to do a thing they are afraid to do, they do not have to. It is the law of non-resistance, which is so little understood.
Thank you. We'll now go into our litany of gratitude, and if you'd like to unmute yourselves and join me in saying, we live in all things live in us. We live by the sun, we feel by the moon, we move by the stars. We live in all things. All things live in us. We eat from the earth, we drink from the rain, we breathe of the air. We live in all things. All things live in us. Call to each other, we listen to each other. Our hearts deepen with love and compassion. We live in all things. All things live in us.
We depend on
the trees and animals. We depend on the earth. Our minds open with wisdom and insight.
We live in all
things. All things live in us. We dedicate our practice to others. We include all forms of life. We celebrate the joy of living and dying. We live in all things. All things live in us. Oh. Ah. We are full of life. We are full of death. We are grateful. I can't read the bottom of the screen. I'm sorry. We live in all things. All things. Honor will do our second reading today. You want to project?
Okay. Heaviness is the root of lightness. Serenity is a master of restlessness. Therefore, the sage traveling all day does not part with the baggage wagon. Though there may be gorgeous sights to see, he stays at ease in his own home. Why should a lord of 10,000 chariots display his likeness to the world? To be light is to be separated from one's root. To be restless is to lose one's self-mastery.
All right, and we'll take a moment if you have your journal next to you to reflect on our readings today. And we do have a prompt. And one has only to watch the reaction of their words to know that they do not return void. I'll say that again. One has only to watch the reaction of their words to know that they do not return void. How do you interpret this teaching, and how do you understand the power of the spoken word? We'll take about 5 minutes for that. All right, everyone, if you'd like to finish up your thoughts, and we will close out our official service portion for the day, recognizing we've come together with intentions of service to the land and all its inhabitants. It is in our hearts to go forth into the world with the collective consciousness. And we encourage you to stay for continued fellowship and conversation around our readings today. And for those unable to stay, we thank you for being with us. A few announcements: if you're not already a member and you're interested in learning more, you can email us at info@psanctuary.org and look out for more announcements and newsletters here in the future.